Be prepared. The eclipse didn't just end yesterday. It ignited something inside of you. And now, the consequences are beginning to surface. Yesterday's blood moon wasn't just a spectacle, it left a mark inside you. While most people think the eclipse ended when the shadow passed, those tuned into energy shifts know it hasn't ended at all. Right now, you may feel your body reacting in ways that don't make sense. And trust me, it's not random. That's proof that the eclipse didn't just happen above you, it's happening through you. But if you think these symptoms are just energy, you're missing the real story. The truth is hiding in your body, and it's about to get even stranger. Blood moons have always carried warnings, and not just in the sky. In ancient lore, they were said to stir the blood itself. That may sound dramatic, but listen. People are already reporting bizarre physical sensations. It's as if the red in the sky awakened the red within you. And if you're spiritually attuned, awareness is everything. Ignoring what your body is signaling now could leave you feeling vulnerable. The real question is, what exactly is going on in your body? There's one reaction to the blood moon that almost no one dares to bring up because it feels too strange to explain. It's not your heart racing or your body aching, it's in your ears. A sudden ringing, like a high-pitched tone, or the feeling of invisible pressure closing in. For some, it can last seconds. For others, it lingers and returns without warning. Science might dismiss it as coincidence, but ancient traditions didn't. In old texts, this sensation was called a summons. When the ringing comes, the soul is being called to listen. And right now, after this eclipse, more people than ever are hearing that call. If your ears have been ringing, it may not be a medical fluke. It could be your body's own clock, echoing the shadow of the moon, syncing you to something far larger than yourself. And once you realize why it's happening, you'll never think of silence the same way again. Another symptom sweeping across people right now is far more obvious, but no less mysterious. For some, this eclipse triggered complete collapse. Heavy eyelids, exhaustion hitting like a wave, naps that feel impossible to wake from. For others, the exact opposite. Wired energy, restlessness, lying awake at 3 a.m., unable to switch off. Eclipses don't just cover the sky, they divide the body. That's the strange truth behind what we're seeing. The blood moon seems to split people into extremes. Some absorb its energy and their bodies short-circuit, forcing deep rest. Others deflect it, and the result is a surge of overstimulation, a buzzing current that refuses to let them sleep. If you're in one of these two camps, you're not alone. One of the strangest reports after this blood moon eclipse has nothing to do with sleep, or ringing ears, or even energy waves. It's the sudden dryness in the mouth that refuses to go away. People are waking up parched, their throats scratching, voices hoarse as if they've shouted through the night, even though they barely spoke a word. Not all silence is quiet sometimes. It's the body preparing the voice to break it. This isn't about simple dehydration. Water doesn't quench it. It's something deeper, something almost ceremonial, as if your voice itself is being rewired. In ancient times, the oracles, the ones who claimed to speak after eclipses, were described as losing their voices before they found them. Their throats burned, their mouths dried, and then, when the time came, the words poured out as if they were carrying a message larger than themselves. So what if this hoarseness isn't weakness at all, but readiness? A strange kind of preparation that pushes you to speak, to sing, to cry, or to shout truths that you've been holding back. After all, every eclipse forces something into the open, and sometimes the first sign is the throat that won't let you stay quiet anymore. If your voice feels different today, maybe it's not random. Maybe you're being pushed to say the very thing that's been buried too long. And the real question is, are you ready to let it out? Then there's the symptom no one expects to be connected to something cosmic: sneezing. Not allergies, not dust, not sickness, just sudden, uncontrollable sneezing fits that hit out of nowhere. Some people report sneezing in waves, like the body is forcing something out. Sometimes the body purges what the mind refuses to release. Think about the timing. A blood moon eclipse casts its shadow, stirs the body, and leaves behind a residue of tension. Where does that go? For some, it bursts out violently in sneezes, almost as if the body refuses to let the energy stay trapped inside. In ancient cultures, sneezing wasn't just biology. It was a sign, a signal of release, of something leaving the body that didn't belong. Right now, after this eclipse, sneezing is acting like a reset button. Each sneeze is a jolt, a push, a clearing. It's not weakness, it's proof your body refuses to hold what the shadow tried to bury. And if you've been hit with these fits, don't dismiss them as random. The blood moon is forcing purges in every way it can. But why the purge had to happen now is where the story turns darker. For some, the blood moon didn't just leave emotional waves or restless nights. It left its mark directly on the skin. Out of nowhere, people are noticing sudden itching spells, random tingles crawling across the arms or legs, or hot spots that flare for a few seconds and then vanish. No rash, no allergy, no explanation. Just the feeling that something invisible brushed against them and then slipped away. It's not always what you see in the mirror that proves change, it's what your body forces you to feel. What's haunting is how often these sensations appear in patterns. A trail of tingles rising along the spine, a patch of heat on the palms, a buzz across the scalp that feels like static electricity even when the air is still. For some, it feels playful, almost ticklish. For others, it borders on unbearable, like the skin itself is trying to speak. Ancient traditions often spoke of the skin as a veil of the soul, the thin line between what's within and what presses against us from the outside. During eclipses, this veil was believed to thin, not just in the sky, but in the body. And when that veil thins, the body reacts. It alerts, it flares, itches, tinges, heats. It leaves a trace, as if the shadow of the moon didn't just pass over the earth, it passed over you. Some even whisper that these sensations are the reactivation of sensory circuits we've long ignored, channels that modern life dulled into silence. The eclipse may have flipped the switch back on. So if your skin feels alive, restless, charged in ways you can't explain, don't dismiss it. That's not random. That's the reminder that this eclipse didn't just happen in the sky, it happened through you. And once your body has been marked, there's no turning back. Something strange is stirring after this blood moon eclipse, something that feels less like thought and more like instinct. People who never flinch at shadows are suddenly uneasy switching off the lights. Rooms that felt normal yesterday now feel charged, like someone or something is standing just out of view. It's not paranoia, it's not imagination. It's something older, something primal, resurfacing in us all. An eclipse doesn't just darken the sky, it awakens the darkness within you. For thousands of years, our ancestors read the night as if their lives depended on it. Every flicker of movement, every shift in silence, Every glint of light could mean the difference between safety and danger. And under a blood moon, they believed the veil between seen and unseen thinned. What if that survival wiring, long buried by streetlights and glowing screens, just got switched back on? After this eclipse, many are reporting sensations they can't shake. An unexplainable chill when stepping into a dark room, a racing heartbeat while walking home at night, the irrational urge to look over their shoulder, not because there's something wrong with them, but because the body is doing what it was designed to do: protect. Science tells us we evolved to fear the dark because our vision is weakest there. But this eclipse seems to have reactivated something deeper than sight. It's not just about danger, it's about awareness. Darkness sharpens every other sense. It forces you to notice the subtle, the creak of the floorboard, the rhythm of your own breathing, the pulse in your blood. And maybe that's the real key. The eclipse isn't trying to terrify you, it's trying to remind you, to bring you back into touch with the instinctive part of yourself that's been silenced by comfort. That part of you that listens when logic doesn't. That part that senses before it sees. So if you've felt it, that sudden jolt of fear when the lights are gone, that eerie weight in the air when you're alone, it's not weakness. It's a message. The eclipse has pulled something ancient out of the shadows and into your body. And once those instincts reawaken, the real question becomes, will you ignore them, or will you finally learn to trust them? Have you noticed it? That restless pulse running through your body since the eclipse? For some, it shows up as tapping feet under the table. For others, it's pacing back and forth through the house. Some shift constantly in their chairs, some fidget with their hands until they can't stand it anymore. It's as if silence itself has become unbearable, and stillness feels like suffocation. This isn't random fidgeting. This isn't just nerves. What you're feeling is residue, raw energy deposited into your body by the blood moon. The eclipse didn't just pass above you. It beat into you like a drum, shaking loose energy that refuses to sit still. Now, your body is carrying that rhythm, and it will not stop until it burns its way out. Restlessness is the body's proof that something larger is moving through you. Think about it. In ancient cultures, nobody watched a blood-red moon in silence. They drummed, they danced, they lit fires, they ran through the night in ritual. The eclipse was never passive, it was an instruction. Move. Don't sit, don't watch, respond. And maybe your body remembers that truth, even if your mind has forgotten. That's why conversations drag for you right now. That's why waiting in line feels like torture. That's why scrolling on your phone doesn't soothe the itch anymore. Your body isn't asking for entertainment, it's demanding action. A primal energy has been stirred, and routine cannot contain it. And notice how it sharpens the moment you try to resist. When you tell yourself, just sit still, just relax, that's when it becomes unbearable. Because the eclipse didn't mark you to be still. It marked you to move, to act, to break out of the cage of stillness and prove you're alive. Some of you will find yourselves cleaning and reorganizing entire rooms at 2 a.m. without knowing why. Others will go on long midnight walks, pulled by the sky, even if the moon has already returned to silver. Some will pace in circles, tapping out rhythms on the floorboards like your bones remember an ancient drumbeat. None of this is aimless behavior. It's instinct. It's your body discharging the shock the eclipse left inside you. And here's something no one talks about. Restlessness is contagious. Spend time with someone equally stirred, and suddenly, both of you will be moving. talking faster, gesturing wildly, unable to sit still. It spreads, like the eclipse stamped the same command across multiple people at once. Wake up, do not sit quietly, move. This is why silence feels heavier right now. It isn't absence, it's pressure, the kind of pressure that demands release. And release doesn't come through calm. It comes through rhythm, action, expression. Maybe that's why so many of you can't stop humming, can't stop tapping your fingers, can't stop shifting in your chair. Your body is trying to remember the dance it once knew under the blood-red sky. So if you feel restless, don't shame it. Don't suppress it. Let it flow. Move your body. Let your hands express. Let your feet tap out their rhythm. It's not anxiety, it's energy trying to be lived. Because if the blood moon gave you anything, it wasn't silence. It was motion. Stillness may feel safe, but movement is transformation. And right now, the eclipse is whispering through your body that transformation is no longer optional. You cannot sit quiet. You are meant to move. What if I told you that the yawns you've been brushing off since the eclipse aren't about sleep at all? That the waves of yawning, catching you off guard in clusters, hitting you even when you're wide awake, are one of the clearest signs that your system is trying to reset itself. Think about it. Yawning isn't just about fatigue, it's about release. And release is exactly what your body craves after a total lunar eclipse. The blood moon wasn't just a visual event, it was a shockwave. The sky swallowed light, the earth shifted under shadow, and your nervous system mirrored that intensity. Too much charge built up in your muscles, your lungs, your thoughts, and then, almost like pulling an emergency lever, your body responded with one of the simplest but most powerful gestures it knows: yawning. A single, uncontrollable exhale of tension. But here's what most people don't realize. Yawning rarely comes alone. It arrives in waves. One pulls another, then another, as if your body refuses to stop until the circuit is cleared. Your jaw stretches wider than you thought possible. Your eyes water. Your lungs drag in air, like they're trying to drink the whole atmosphere at once. This isn't weakness. This is your system purging static, burning off the excess energy the eclipse left, humming inside you. Yawning is not exhaustion. It's the nervous system exhaling what words cannot. And it gets stranger. Yawning spreads. You've seen it, one person yawns, and suddenly a room follows, as though an invisible cord has been tugged between them. Modern science calls it contagious yawning, but ancient traditions saw it as something far deeper, a collective release, a ripple proving that energy can jump from body to body. So ask yourself, if the eclipse could charge entire cities under its red shadow, what happens when those cities start yawning together the next day? Maybe it's not just individual release. Maybe it's humanity sinking, purging in unison. There's another layer too, timing. Some people report yawning the moment they think about the eclipse, as though memory itself reactivates the purge. Others yawn when recalling a feeling they had under the blood-red sky. It's almost as if the body stores echoes of the event and then chooses the moment to release them. Like a valve, opening and closing, so you don't explode under the weight of it all. Even modern science can't agree on why we yawn. Some theories say it cools the brain. Others say it shifts chemistry or resets alertness. But what if all those explanations are just fragments of the truth? What if yawning is the body's universal language of reset, its way of saying, enough? Let me clear the system. If that's true, then the excessive yawning you felt since the eclipse isn't random. It's proof you've been carrying the shadow inside you, and your body refuses to keep it trapped. And here's something to notice. Yawns often come at the most inconvenient times. In conversations you don't want to have, in meetings that drag on, in moments when silence is heavy and the body can't hold it anymore. That's not accident, it's instinct. The same instinct that woke up under the blood moon, forcing people to purge, reset, and realign even when they didn't understand why. So the next time a wave of yawns hits you, don't dismiss it. Don't roll your eyes and call yourself tired. See it for what it is, a doorway. A moment where your body forces you to exhale the chaos and step back into balance. Because every yawn after this eclipse is more than just oxygen, it's proof that your body is refusing to stay stuck in the shadow. Every yawn is a passage, one you cross to leave behind the chaos and walk into clarity. And if the blood moon truly opens something inside you, then maybe these yawns aren't just endings. Maybe they're beginnings. The first breaths of a body that has decided it will not carry the eclipse forever. It will purge it, release it, and come out the other side lighter than before. You know the feeling. You wake up in the middle of the night and your arm feels like it doesn't even belong to you, buzzing, prickling, humming with tiny, invisible sparks. Normally, you'd laugh it off, shake it out, and chalk it up to the way you were sleeping. But what if that wasn't the whole truth? What if something else was at play, something triggered by the blood moon eclipse? Because eclipses are not just shadows in the sky. They're interruptions of rhythm, disruptions in cycles so deep, most of us don't even realize they exist. Our lives are timed to the balance of light and darkness, rise and fall, flow and stillness. But when a blood moon interrupts that delicate order, your body doesn't just shrug it off. It adjusts, it adapts, and sometimes it signals those adjustments in the strangest ways. Ancient healers once believed tingling limbs were more than nerves. They called it the mark of movement. They claimed it was proof that hidden pathways within the body, channels of energy, currents of flow were being forced open. And what was the very first sign those channels had stirred awake? Not calmness, not peace. Static, a rush of invisible sparks beneath the skin. Think about it. That flood of pins and needles isn't just random noise. It's a reminder that your body is alive, electric, and wired into something far greater than itself. The blood moon's shadow didn't just cross the earth, it brushed across you. And when it did, it left echoes that travel in pulses you can feel, but never quite explain. What makes this so strange is how it refuses to follow logic. Sometimes the tingles don't line up with how you are lying down. Sometimes they arrive when you're wide awake. It's almost as if the body has found a new way to speak, one that doesn't ask for permission, one that doesn't care if you understand it. For ancient traditions, this wasn't seen as weakness, it was seen as awakening. They believed tingling was proof of dormant circuits being switched on, the body rewiring itself in response to forces too vast to measure. Imagine it. The same crimson shadow that stretched across the moon may have also stretched across your nervous system, leaving trails of static in its wake. And here's where it gets even more compelling. Some describe these sensations not as accidents, but as guidance. Sparks in the hands before making a choice. A hum in the legs before moving towards something new. A buzz along the spine before a moment of clarity. To them, it wasn't discomfort at all. It was direction. So the next time you wake up to that unnerving hum in your arm, or that prickling buzz racing through your skin, resist the urge to dismiss it as meaningless. Ask yourself instead, what just passed through me? What am I being tuned into? Because maybe, just maybe, That rush of invisible pins is more than your limb waking up. Maybe it's you waking up. Here's the part almost everyone overlooks. The blood moon eclipse is rarely felt at the exact moment it happens. Yes, the sky darkens. Yes, the moon bleeds red. But your body doesn't always fire its response right away. For most people, the real impact sneaks in hours or even days later. And that's where things get unsettling, because just when you think it's over, your body reminds you it isn't. Think of earthquakes. The earth splits open in a single, violent shock. But it's the aftershocks, the tremors that keep rolling through, that make people lose balance, lose sleep, and lose certainty that the ground is safe again. The blood moon works the same way. The spectacle in the sky is the main event. But the body? It processes slowly. It waits. And then, like an echo refusing to die out, it delivers the aftershocks. That's why so many people felt fine during the eclipse itself, only to wake up hours later with pounding headaches, dizziness, ringing ears, restless limbs, or strange cravings that defy explanation. It's not random, it's delayed impact. The shadow that crossed the moon didn't vanish, it crossed into you, and now your body is recalibrating. But here's where it gets even stranger. These aftershocks don't strike everyone at the same pace. For some, it's immediate, an intense wave hitting the morning after, leaving them heavy, tired, or burning with restless energy. For others, it's subtle, whispers that appear over days, disrupted sleep patterns, random jolts in the muscles, or sudden emotions they can't place. This staggered timing is part of the mystery. Eclipses don't just hit once, they unravel in layers. Ancient astrologers knew this well. They believed eclipses were never just one-night events. Instead, they were like stones dropped into a pond, ripples that spread outward long after the stone itself was gone. The first ripple is the spectacle in the sky. The later ripples are the symptoms, the whispers, the aftershocks in the body. And if you've been wondering why the strangest symptoms hit you late, not during the eclipse, but after, it's because your body doesn't react like the sky. The moon turns red in an instant, but the body takes its time. It absorbs, it resists, it adjusts. It holds the energy until it can't hold it anymore. Then it cracks open. This window, the 12 to 48 hours after a blood moon, is not a cool down. It's the ignition. It's when the body starts reconfiguring, when your blood chemistry shifts, when your nerves spark in odd ways, when the hidden imprint of the eclipse fully declares itself. And this is why so many people dismiss the experience. They expect fireworks during the event. They don't realize the fireworks go off later inside them. Here's the real secret. The aftershock timeline is your proof that the eclipse wasn't just a show in the sky, it was a trigger. And now, every symptom you feel days later is the ripple proving that trigger worked. The dizziness, the ringing, the cravings, the heat, the fatigue, they're not random. They're the shock waves of a celestial alignment reverberating through flesh and blood. So if you're restless tonight, if your mouth is dry, if your skin tingles, if your nerves spark with strange jolts, don't dismiss it. Don't call it coincidence. Call it what it is. Aftershocks. Proof that the blood moon didn't just pass over you, it passed through you. And the truth is, these aftershocks may not stop tomorrow. Some will fade in days. Some will echo for weeks. Because once the shadow has marked you, it doesn't let go so easily. The eclipse is gone from the sky, but it may live inside your body far longer than you ever expected. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.